and I remember sitting in Famous Men of Rome, and I thought to myself, they're just using the same teacher guide I have. I could do that.
Welcome to Classical Etc., coming to you from the Memoria National Conference.
Welcome to Classical Etc. I am here with Jessica Phillips from Highlands Latin Nashville. Highlands Latin School Nashville? Wait, you normally say Highlands Latin Nashville, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Highlands Latin Nashville. We're going to go with that. Before we talk about your school, what are you reading?
So I just finished Moby Dick, which I'm very proud of that. It's my first read. We just talked about that for 6 hours today here at the conference. But I'm
hold on, Verdict?
Oh, I love it.
Okay.
It was fantastic. We could have talked for more than 6 hours, but we squeezed it in. I'm rereading Augustine's Confessions because I teach City of God, and I taught it this year. Now I have the margin to start rereading other things that Augustine's done, and I'm also enjoying that very much.
Can you tell us something about your school and the community that you've built?
Right. So Highlands Latin Nashville is located in downtown Nashville, but it is unique in that it serves families basically in a 60-mile radius.
Oh, wow.
We have students that drive from southern Kentucky. It's about 60 miles. So it serves homeschooling families who want to use Memoria Press, who also want outside support. But kindergarten all the way to 12th grade.
That's a spread.
It's a spread. It's all of it.
So, why did you start Highlands Latin Nashville?
So I discovered Memoria Press in 2012, and we did it all by ourselves at home for a few years. That looked pretty unsustainable over the long haul. Very committed to homeschooling, very committed to Memoria Press, and saw that I was going to need outside support. Even if I was able, I wasn't going to have the time to distribute I have 4 children, so it just wasn't sustainable. So I knew I needed outside help.
Yeah. What's the spread on ages of your kids?
7.5 years.
Okay.
So at the time, my oldest was we had started in 3rd grade with Memoria Press. I'd never even heard of it before then. But he was in 6th grade. And there was the 2nd form, 3rd form was looming. Iliad Odyssey was looming. So my friend Angel had said, high school for homeschoolers is lonely. Just period. But then also if you narrow the funnel to classical education, with whom will your child discuss Cicero?
Yeah. Unless
you find some other children for that student to talk to, and also just really wanting partnership with teachers, outside voices, saying the same things, but who have devoted more time to the subject matter, can bring out a different thing for my own children in the way that I now see that I can bring out something different in other people's children simply by showing up and being not their parent, which is quite magical, honestly. And it's beautiful to be able to know that that's possible. So I needed it, and I'm always operating on the premise that if I need it, somebody else might as well.
Yeah. And obviously people have.
Right, people have.
Right? You've created that community. So how has Memoria Press helped your school?
So the very short answer is that without Memoria Press, Highlands Latin Nashville doesn't exist, because that is what the school is about. The entire purpose and mission of the school is to help families who want to homeschool give their children a Memoria Press education. And while many people do that on their own, it is extremely difficult. But for families who do want to homeschool through high school, it is absolutely possible. They can have a phenomenal education. They can not be in school 5 days a week, which for some people is not a great fit. And so we've kind of laser focused on that, the families with that specific desire for their family life and their schedule, and also the type of curriculum.
Yeah, and I think it's important for people to hear that you were are a homeschooling mother. Angel was, and she still have kids in the home?
She's done.
She's done, yeah. But she was a homeschooling mother. When both of you, when you started, your experience was you homeschooled.
Absolutely.
And you went from that to building a community with over 100 students.
Right.
Just that it wasn't something that you went and got any more training than what you get here at the conference. But you just began.
I remember we came in November 2015 to the campus, and I remember sitting in Famous Men of Rome, and I thought to myself, they're just using the same teacher guide I have. I could do that. And so just seeing it, demystifying that as to what was actually happening in a classroom, because I'm not a teacher. I was not a trained teacher.
Yeah.
I didn't know what happened in the classroom, but as it turns out, they use the teacher guide and they learn the facts to know and they answer the comprehension questions and they do their map work and their flashcards and just as a group.
Right.
So
if somebody were either running a program like the similar program or wanting to start one, what piece of advice would you give them?
okay, so this is kind of a tough one because not anything you can do right away. But I would say the most important thing for someone who wants to lead or direct this kind of mission, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it, would be to get your own classical education, because you are going to need wisdom and knowledge and virtue. And a great place to find those things is in a classical education. It is the thing that you want to give your students, if you do not already have it or not already actively pursuing it, is actually what you need. Because you're going to be faced with challenges that you don't understand. There's going to be things you don't know what you don't know. You can't anticipate what you're going to have to know. And over the years, Angel and I have made decision after decision after decision based on something we read in Plato, something we read in Aristotle. One time we made a difficult decision using is it the 6 heads of purpose? I don't know.
I lose count.
What is
I'm
that?
not sure,
It's
but the heads of
the thing
purpose,
from
yes.
classical education where you're like, is it just? Is it or is it possible? Is it?
From the
I'm
pro
sorry.
gym.
Yes, I should know these better. But anyway, I wrote them on a note card and I asked myself. I went through those questions to help make a decision and to know I had checked off necessary things, and that helped me know what I should choose.
So in saying that the best thing they can do is go get their own classical education, and I think you've been a model of that as I've watched over the years, but how did you go about doing that?
Right. So I recommend you start when your kids are really little because it's easier to start down there. But I do think everyone benefits from learning some Latin or Greek. Most people, Latin's going to be easier for most people. It helps if you teach it. I think you need to read all the classical studies. And because that's normally the missing pieces. So even if you've gotten a wonderful liberal arts education, you can still have never read all of the Iliad, or you maybe have never read Greek tragedy, or maybe you've never read Cicero. But the riches are there. You don't have to go read a modern book about leading a business. You can just learn about statecraft or leadership, or what does it mean to be a citizen, or what are your obligations? The wisdom is there.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're talking really about imbibing the principles.
Absolutely.
So that you can then apply that in your community and those daily decisions you have to make.
Absolutely. And sometimes the wisdom is to hire an accountant because you don't need to be doing that. So that would be an appropriate thing to let someone else shine in their gifting.
Yeah. So how has the Memoria Conference helped you over the years?
So one thing I think for me is that it's so reliable. I know it's going to be there every year. I can come.
Jessica, that is really funny, given the fact that there was a year we canceled it.
Yes, I know, but I still made it happen.
That's right. You made it happen.
So because because and that was early on, but the thing that's important is every year I have different questions. It's like rereading a great book. I am going to get something on a different path because a year has passed.
Yeah.
New things, like
you
things I didn't know that I didn't know. Well, I know some of those now, and I have different questions to ask. And I'm sitting through different things every year. Today I sat through Kyle's literature symposium on Moby Dick. We don't even read that in our school. Last year it was Henry IV, I believe. Every year there's different offerings that inspire me. I come here to keep learning because that's what really jazzes me up and gets me excited about what I'm doing. I also have to do some of the administrative stuff because I'm an administrator. It's my responsibility. But the fuel is in the intellectual stimulation and getting excited about what we're doing, but also so deeply encouraged by the long, faithful hard work that other people are doing and their faithfulness. And you need that wind in your sails. And to see it every single year and to come back every single year and see the same people that are still doing it is so encouraging. Yeah. And so it would be really hard to miss, hard to give that up. It would be a really long 2 years between.
Yes. Well, I don't think we're stopping this train.
I'm counting on you.
Do you have, in this upcoming school year, do you have a goal? Do you have one thing you want to
do have a
get
goal.
done?
So I have lots of goals, but the thing I am most excited about this year, that's probably not true. A thing I am excited about this year is that we have a parent-teacher book club that runs on a cycle of 5 years. And we read through all the classicals, not all, many of the classical studies books. So our 5-year sequence is Iliad, Odyssey, Aeneid, Greek tragedy, which we did Sophocles, and then Divine Comedy. So we're on year 7, which means we've done all 5 and then looped back through. And last year was Iliad and this year's Odyssey. And the Odyssey, to me, is the most accessible beginner text.
Yes.
Like, you just jump in and it's an adventure. It covers so much of mythology and things that you might have heard about this Trojan War and stories. You're like, oh, that's where that comes from. And so one of my goals this year is to get as many parents as possible through that book.
Yeah.
We'll do it. We'll do it. I'll have to report in next year. But that's one of my goals. Last year, I tried to pull in tons of parents who had younger kids so that they would be way ahead of their children. Yeah. And so this year, Odyssey.
That's awesome. Is that a like a monthly meeting?
Oh, no. We only meet 3 times a year.
3 times a year?
3 times a year. Yeah. We'll read a third of each thing. We read one play each time for the Greek tragedy. We read the Inferno for the first one. A lot of them very, very much lend themselves to like a triple division. Yeah. So we will read, 8 books, 8 books each time.
Yeah. Well, that sounds doable.
It is doable. Is imperative. If it's not doable, what's the point?
Yeah. Well, hopefully you have a big turnout. Yeah. And maybe some people will be inspired by this, that they'll think about doing it for their own community.
I've actually already talked to a group. They went home and they read Famous Men of Rome last year as a book club.
Oh, that's a great idea.
After hearing about our book club. It's just so simple.
Yeah, it is. Well, thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time on Classical Etc.
Thanks for joining us today on Classical Etc. by Memoria Press. If you like what you heard, please like, subscribe, or share this episode or comment. We love to hear your questions and your comments. If you want to learn more about Memoria Press, please go to memoriapress.com. This has been Classical Etc. We're so glad you joined us, and we'll see you next time.